Sarah, what do you
so
think
funny.
the greatest like old people sex scene in a movie is? Like, could you even think of one? I can't even think of any.
No, not in a movie. There is an old porn star that I like, though. I need to remind myself of her name, but she's unreal.
How old is she?
Old.
Like old? How old?
Maybe like 80.
What? And she's still going at it?
Like nowadays, she's probably 80, but when she was in her prime, maybe she was like 70.
Is she still doing porn? She's 80?
Let me find her. I know who she is.
Because if she's still actively doing porn at 80, that's kind of badass.
That is badass. Also, she should retire.
Cancel
Culture
podcast.
I think this is a good one to be doing today because I feel like I'm ageist.
Yes.
Yeah, you did say you wanted old people to just die.
No, it's not that hi,
I do
I'm
remember.
Jamie.
They will. They will.
By the way, here we're gonna introduce ourselves. I'm Jamie and I want old people to die. No, I don't want old people to die. I just think that they should shut up more. But that is a political thing. You know what I mean?
Like Bernie?
Yeah, Bernie, there are
Bernie?
like any statement, there are exceptions to the rule, you know? I think that in large part, older people need to learn how to listen better. I don't think that's a radical statement.
They would say
It's young
about us scamps and rascals.
I'm sure that they
would
would.
absolutely say
people.
the same thing.
Right, but what they don't seem to grasp is that like all we do as young people is like we are taught we spend like the first 25 years of our lives only being like really allowed to listen, like and
then it's
do.
like all the time in
And
this-
then right, and it's like now they need to learn that like the sun is setting on them, right? Like
Yeah.
we need to at the beginning of your life you have to listen a lot. At the end of the life you should also have to listen a lot. Like
yeah,
you are on your way out.
go to Boca Raton.
You need to like chill the fuck out, take a beat, like just listen.
Well,
more.
more importantly, the odds are, in favor of people who are younger. So 40% people under 40 are now 60+% of the world's population. So it's just the law of numbers.
That's
The majority should. The idea that the 40% that sit over 40 should run everything, especially given the state of the world right now, is kind of moronic. So the math just leans towards
the math
older
is not
people.
mathing.
Thank you for
Correct.
the TED Talk. Hello, I'm Elayna. We're really into politics here. This is actually a political podcast.
Yeah.
But I think
But-
there
No,
is.
stop interrupting
but-
Elayna.
I really hope I can retire at 55 because I don't know how these politicians are fucking 78 trying to work all day. And
You could go to
no,
bed.
absolutely not. I hope to be sipping Mai Tais or prune juice on a beach
Mm.
with my
Very different
various
options.
animals. Yeah, well, we'll see how my, liver and gallbladder are doing at that point. But
Right.
I hope to be relaxing, maybe writing a novel. Okay,
Ooh.
that's like a fun hobby I don't have time for right now.
What would the
But,
title of your novel be?
I honestly think I need to do my memoir first.
What would that
Yeah.
title be?
Maybe it would be Life Sucks and Then You Die. But I don't know. Actually, I really have to think of some more memoir titles. Because, man, these 25 years up till now have been a circus. It's been crazy.
I have a couple follow-up questions.
Okay.
How old are you now?
I'll be 25 in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh my God, less than 2 weeks.
And you're already thinking about writing your memoir. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I have some
Okay, cool,
drafts.
cool.
I got a couple
Cool, cool.
chapters drafted.
And then how old did you say you hope to be retired at?
55.
Cool. I
Yeah.
just I'd like to put on the record, I'm 55 and we can proceed. Thank you.
Okay, congrats.
Great.
Okay, so when are you retiring from education? Are you going to do that?
From education?
Yeah, are you going to teach until you
Never.
die?
I think I'll probably teach until I die. I'll probably work until I die.
Also, the funny thing about this is I'm like, yeah, I'm going to retire. But you know me, I'm going to pick up like 8 different projects. at
Yeah,
55.
no,
Right,
you're gonna be
exactly.
working until
I
you die, Elayna. Let's be really quite. Let's
Everybody
be so
says
for real
everybody
right
says
now.
old
Hopefully I'll
people
have
should
some beach
retire
Mai
at a certain
Tais in there.
age until they're that age, and they're like, oh, it's not that old.
I haven't started my 401k yet, so 55 is not looking good for the kid, but who knows?
Kid. Wait, when's your birthday, Elayna?
The 21st.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
you're a
You're a
not
sap.
You're Sag?
I'm sad.
Okay. I was
Also,
gonna
guys, I just realized my pants are inside out.
Luckily, no one can see.
Old people problems.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we having our is it
I-
too like I feel like I'm having my quarter life crisis probably as we speak.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I just
This
am
podcast
reinventing
was
myself.
born out of a quarter life crisis for sure. A
Yeah.
quarter life crisis and a midlife crisis.
Correct. Yes. I think it was,
You're
I
having
think
your mid and I'm having my quarter.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I think you've been having your midlife crisis since you turned 50.
I've been having I had my quarter life crisis from 20 until about 35. And then I had started having my midlife crisis at 35.
Yeah. Well, I hope.
Damn, no rest for the wicked.
Yeah,
Hopeless.
seriously. I just hope I'll keep reinventing myself and can avoid the dread that I feel. I'm like running away from it, and just I'll just keep.
Well,
That's
isn't
my
that
plan.
part
That's
of
my plan.
that's part of the problem with old people is like there's no evolution. Like I feel like people reach like 65
Such a
and they're like, whoa.
generalization.
I know, I'm
Such a generalization.
Jamie doesn't hang out with old people ever.
Such a generalization.
I'm gonna introduce myself now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Sarah. I'm like an old people empathizer. I really am. Like, I'm huge on respect our elders, guys. I'm that team. I feel like it's so hard for them to change their ways. They've been around, they ruled the roost. How can we just expect them all to like shut up and be quiet? I want to hear more. I want to hear him. I want to hear him. I'm not kidding. Even
How's
though
your relationship? How's your relationship with your father? You have a very good relationship with your father, don't you?
I have an amazing relationship with my
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's why she hates men though.
Because no one
Oh,
can
yeah,
compare.
no one can compare. Yeah.
Well, no, she hates young men because they all are pale by comparison to the OG.
Just
They're all pale. I thought you were saying they were all they're all
There are a
tall.
lot of them are British, and
It was
so
like-
okay,
Sarah's dad's pretty white. So
Yeah.
they pale by comparison to the pale guy.
lastly and leastly, the old man of the group, Evan.
Yes.
The
As I stated.
geriatric of the group.
Do you ever
So what
think of it
gener-
like
what-
55? You have so much left to live. You know, it's
You
kind of
just
crazy.
basically said I should give it up.
55 is
Well,
young. 55
if-
is so young.
If you think about like if you live to like 85, that's another like 30 years of shit to do. What are you gonna fill your
Too
time
much.
with?
What am
Don't
I gonna
you-
fill my
aren't
time
you
with this
tired?
podcast?
Aren't
No.
you tired? Like, aren't you
No,
done
I-
yet?
Give
I
up.
feel like I'm the least tired person on this Zoom today.
I
That's
think you
actually
might be
true.
right.
I'm actually buzzing.
I think
Sarah and I
just
are more
see-
aligned than, even though I
I
insulted
actually
her
think
and her
you and
father.
Sarah are the most alike on this entire podcast.
We are.
so
We
true.
absolutely are. I agree with that. we have that definite alliance. We're ready to kick you all off the island anytime.
Okay,
That'd be
bye.
wow, good
I just think
sequel.
at a certain point, like, aren't you gonna be like, I've done enough of life now. Like, it's time to go.
I feel like
Well,
that was.
I
me
want to live
yesterday.
until I'm like 150. I want to
Yeah,
live.
we
Really?
talked about this. You cycle.
No,
It's too long.
Nah, that's
Why?
not. That's
I want to
just
see everyone
silly.
die. I genuinely
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Like, I want to.
You want to
This-
see everyone
the
die?
second-
Is that what
the
you just
second
said?
anyone-
Freaking
Homo
vampire.
FOMO.
Do you want
Same,
people to have to
Mariana.
take care of you? Like I cannot cross over into needing to
Whoa,
be taken
let's
care of.
unpack this.
Wait, so what
Evan.
do you
Hold
want me
on,
to do with
hold
you when
on.
you get old?
There's a bat in that closet there.
Just me.
Hopefully
him out to the
euthanasia
pasture.
will actually be allowed by the time I'm prepared to.
You know, it
to
is
consider
legal
that.
in some countries.
Oregon,
Like Switzerland.
but in the United
But
States, it's-
Switzerland has legalized euthanasia, I think.
yeah.
So yeah,
So we can fly you
absolutely.
there.
There is absolutely no way I want to spend the last 20 years of my life on some kind of assistance that I need someone else to wipe my ass.
That's why you need to do
Prime
yoga.
time.
The second someone needs
This
to
is
wipe
why
my
yoga's
ass,
the
I
answer.
want out.
You need to do yoga. I'm
I
telling you.
agree with that. I've been,
You should
yeah,
do
I
yoga.
agree.
So are you
I'll
gonna
go
start doing
Exploring The
yoga?
idea of yoga.
150.
I might,
is-
if it's something I can do here.
I might.
I did
Lies.
yoga last night instead of
I've
going
started
out.
stretching in a yoga-ish sort of
Wow,
way.
Sarah.
Thank you. Guys.
I have some books.
What'd you say,
Sarah's
Sarah?
killing it.
I did yoga last night instead of going out.
There you go. How
I
often do you
did
do
one to
that?
Williamsburg. Never. This was my first time.
It's first
I
time
feel
doing
like
yoga?
Sarah and I have switched lives.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
really clean living now.
I
Wait,
spend-
how many times have you done yoga, actually?
In my whole life, maybe like 15, but doing it on my
Okay.
own accord in my own apartment on my own yoga
That's my
mat
goal.
once. and it felt
Michael.
amazing. And now I'm limber as hell.
All right. So this episode's about ageism, and usually in this podcast that we do, is that you shooting old people? Usually in this podcast, we give an example of, you know, a bad joke that's maybe offensive or insensitive towards the group or category that we are focusing on. However, I will say I was not able to find a joke that I found
didn't look.
offensive. I looked.
I also wasn't though. Like, and
I
I
looked. I thought they were all
Um,
very funny. But
I
I
did
I
too.
did have an issue this week where everything I found that was incredibly offensive, I thought was absolutely hilarious. And I sent it to Jamie. And
That's-
Jamie's response was, Elayna.
Yeah, there were a few things that Elayna sent me that I was like, Elayna, what? But
they were really.
I don't know. That Family Guy bit was
Oh, I like that.
but no, that's for
Let's
the next
see that.
episode.
That's
That's for
okay.
next episode.
I'm sorry, spoiler alert.
Evan,
Calm myself.
I-
I'm like
I
crying.
I think so you're right. It's hard to find a joke by a comic that is, although there are plenty of kicking grandma down the stairs in a wheelchair jokes in TV comedy history, but there's this kind of
Either
generalization
works.
of everybody over the age of 30 as boomer, right? Okay, boomer.
Yeah, what happened to Gen X?
And
Yeah.
you should all just give up and retire and go on an ice flow and go peacefully into that good night.
well,
And it's, you know, usually sometimes merited because there's this kind of general like, well, I need to change the pronouns thing that a lot of people over a certain age do, including, by the way, millennials. So there's this
millennials are the most boomer
Millennials
of the
aren't safe.
boomers.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Millennials aren't safe.
So I think there's this misapplication of ageism
What I do.
around the sense of humor around Opie. We love Betty White, and in fact, most Gen Zers love their grandparents. There's a lot of intergenerational love, and then you have shit like this, which is just like old people suck. And because the world is such a shitstorm, and mostly it was caused by people over the age of 50,
Yeah.
myself included, there's a right to kind of somewhat stereotype, but like all stereotypes, it is a tar brush that oftentimes hits people who don't necessarily deserve.
I don't know, Evan. I think you're old if you have to have 75 tabs open on your desktop at a time. Young people do not do that. You're gonna crash your computer.
Wait, Evan's desktop is actually the sign of like
You don't
a
have enough
deeply
RAM
disturbed
to
human.
run all those
Disney one up.
programs at the same time.
You need to just
Disney.
that's not even his full thing. Yeah.
That's one window. So
That's one window. There are like
I think
8
that's the
others.
work one. Wait, let me just make
You
sure. Yeah,
do?
that's the work one. This is the
You're
the
only
personal
sharing
one.
your one screen. You need to share your whole
Ah,
desktop.
well, there are four different windows. They don't
No,
all have the same number of
Your
tabs.
RAM wasn't built to
I have a
process
I have
that
a lot of
many
RAM.
programs.
I have a whole lot of RAM.
Okay, but does
It's a-
your computer crash a lot?
No.
I don't believe it.
It's
don't
because he
believe
Well, I have
gets
a
a new
computer.
computer every
I have
5
a computer
minutes.
made
That's
this
why.
decade, unlike some of the people.
Elayna, he
Oh,
gets
okay.
a new computer every
Um,
5 minutes. He can't because he can't handle.
When
Like,
it
The
runs
truth.
slow.
I can't
the-
handle the
here's-
truth.
Oh my
Here's the
gosh.
thing about
Just throw the whole thing out.
I also will say the most old person thing about Evan is his lack of patience. Although he has been like
Oh.
that, I think, forever. But the way that this man can't handle if one thing doesn't immediately work, it's like we're not doing it. It's not happening.
I do
I
remember
don't
waste time.
Riverside.
I don't
Yeah,
waste
yeah,
time. Yeah.
Time
I
is
don't
Well,
money.
I
But
mean, I think
sometimes there's a
the record
virtue.
will show
Have, like,
Riverside was not the right decision. But go ahead.
Old people didn't have as many like
I'm falling.
quick fixes for boredom though. I feel like old people, it's interesting how impatient they typically are.
Yeah, you would
Because
think
they
they'd be
have
good
to sit
at
in
waiting.
silence a lot and like throw balls
Stare at a
walls
wall.
on. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it's kind of the opposite, which is like when I was growing up, you know, what I played with, a stick.
Yeah.
And
Same.
and there was immediate gratification. So I wanted to play. I walked outside, I found a stick, and I was playing. I didn't have to like plug something in. Then we got video games, and that replaced that. But
I see.
Well, I
It
read,
still
I
is
read
instant
books and played with
gratification.
sticks as a child.
I played with
I feel like
Calico
we're in the
today.
weird Gen Z. We're like my 15-year-old brother will say things to me. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, you're not a Gen Zer, you're a boomer, because I'm so cut off from like
But you're cuspy. You're a millennial
You
Gen
need to pick a
Zer.
side, and
I
you
was
might be
saying-
on
I
that
don't know,
side.
seriously.
I was saying there's nothing like there's nothing to make you feel old
Well,
like a young
well-
Gen Zer, right? But there's
Yeah.
also nothing to make you feel young like an old millennial. Like I'm around like Thanksgiving, I'm around like the oldest of the millennial generation
Yes,
who
you
like
are.
have little
The-
kids
the-
now, and it
the
is
cutting
a
edge.
nightmare. Like it is like
Yeah.
that is peak
They'll
boomer
hear
behavior.
this.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes me feel more young though, which is kind of cute and fun, is my sister is like a true millennial, and she will send me on
Classic.
on Instagram. She will like DM me Instagram reels that I saw on TikTok like a month ago.
yeah.
And it's the
Like
funniest
Jordan
thing.
song.
Yeah,
Oh,
like she's like, have you seen this? I'm like, yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
internet.
Which is
Yeah, I saw,
fascinating
like, 3 weeks ago.
because technically you're the same generation as her. You can
Right.
claim you're a Gen Zer, but you know,
Apparently the
almost
Gen Z
by
code is
definition.
27.
It's not a time. It's not.
I
It
don't know.
really
It's
truly
arbitrary.
isn't.
It's
Isn't
an
isn't a
idea.
date. It's
It's
not
an
a date.
idea.
Arbitrary.
Since both of our
arbitrary
parents
category.
come from the same generation, technically speaking, they're from the same generation.
Fair.
No, because in 4th grade, Jamie had access to technology, and in 4th grade, Jenna was not.
Well, so there
on
was
a
a
computer.
figurative
a shift.
versus literal
I
division.
feel like we
yeah.
mostly had access to the same stuff. I think the difference between a young millennial,
Oh, we just figured it out.
and
One
an
watches
old
it on
Gen Z.
TikTok.
Yeah.
well,
one
yeah,
watches
that's
it.
the definition. But I think the true difference is like literally, if you were boiling it down, it's how you interact with the internet. Like, right? Like I think the youngest millennials and the oldest Gen Zers both had access to like pretty much the same stuff. It's
Yeah.
more like how they interacted with it and how they used it that sets them apart. Like I feel like my sister probably still used like
MySpace.
like not MySpace, but like Facebook Messenger and like stuff like that as like a main form of communication, maybe like in college with like groups and stuff. And we were using
Oh,
Instagram, or like we were using like, I don't know, like
was-
certain, I don't know.
Well, what do you think? I mean, here, I guess the thing is like,
Sneeze.
what's the definition of old? And secondarily, you know, as much as you claim that old people don't have patience to a certain extent, or I'm impatient, but you know, the
I'm really
impatience I feel like people under 40 have for people over 40 with regards to changing with the times as they change. By our perspective very quickly, and by your perspective, which will always be the perspective of people under the age of 40, not quickly enough.
Yeah.
You know, why can't we be more patient with each other? Like, okay, boomer is a response to pretty much anything now. Any
it?
kind of slight.
I feel like you've
any
been personally
micro-
attacked, Evan. I feel like this
No,
is
I
audio
actually don't.
specific.
Wait,
I've used it
Sarah,
myself, to be honest
what
with
were you gonna say, Sarah?
I was saying that I agree it's alienating. I get it. I hear them. This is gonna be us one day. That's why it's like we're gonna be old. We're gonna be old. We're gonna
I
be
don't
old.
know.
We're gonna be out of it. We're gonna be left out. We're gonna be Cheugy. The word Cheugy, there's gonna be a new word for us.
Yeah,
And
but
that-
don't you feel like that's the lesson though? Like
Yeah.
CHEUGY, Cheugy. Is that how you spell that?
Cheugy.
you're
It
being
refers to
Cheugy
just
by
like
asking that.
like,
I'm being Cheugy.
trying to be
What is the
your friend.
definition of Cheugy? Just
We're
for
trying to
those
become your
people,
friend.
unlike myself, who can't understand this language.
Okay, we'll let Sarah explain it.
It means like when you're kind of like a millennial trying to be on trend with the Gen Zers. So it's like, yeah, what are some examples of Cheugy things? Like
What?
kind of holiday decor to an extent, or like that, like fool, obsessed with fool, and like
Or like the
Kinda like
dances, the
cheating.
TikTok dances when
Yeah.
millennials come on and they're like, okay, I see these young kids doing it, so I'm gonna try it. And it's like,
being obsessed with
It's
Apple
cringe.
products, loving Friends, Harry Potter, or The Office, being a Disney adult, skinny
Mariana
jeans,
Chevron.
Starbucks merchandise, like pumpkin spice lattes. That's kind of what I was getting at with the whole fool thing.
Yeah.
I
Got
feel
it.
like
Well, and there is I think that is where that's my example of a bad joke, is the overuse of like the, oh, you're an old person thing, to the point where you're now making fun of 30-year-olds and
There's no
kind
hope.
of
I
writing
think
off a
okay
whole
boomer
point of
is
view.
really funny. Okay boomer.
I think okay boomer is funny how it's much it annoys people though. Like
Right.
it's
But
like,
also it's like the boomers are not the one that enacted all this policy. It was the baby busters. It's the Gen Xers that fucked it all up, not the boomers, you
I think
know.
there's one of
It's a
my
little bit
friends-
of both.
To a certain extent,
The
but
boomers
yeah.
are pretty crusty, you know. They're not voting as much as that.
Wait, what's a
next age
buster?
group.
The busters are the
I'm-
ones that did the
They're the
F-
ones.
which
No,
That's
they're not
my
really
dad's
called baby
generation.
busters.
That's him.
Yeah,
That's
Evan's
Evan.
generation is Gen X, like
you
our
busted.
parents.
No, you boomed, didn't you, Evan?
No, I'm
No.
not Gen
They
X.
busted.
Boomed is his mom.
And then prior to
The
that,
greatest
is the greatest
generation.
generation.
Yeah.
But the
boomed
boomers,
them
but the
out.
Technically
reason,
though, well, yeah, I guess no.
well, Sarah, half our friends' parents are boomers and half are Gen X. Like it varies.
Mine are boomers. 'Cause mine are
Yeah,
65.
I think your parents are boomers. Yeah.
but right on the
um,
cusp, right on the cusp.
But I think
Oh my
like
gosh.
to answer your question
God.
though, I feel like one of the things that I think about a lot with getting older is like I don't ever want to be that way. Like I feel like it's just like you can make a decision to like actively accept things. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that's why I get annoyed with older
Why?
people. It's not because they're not like immediately grasping it. It's because they are actively
Refusing.
reluctant to grasp.
I
So
think
it's
what
like,
happened is like they
Brain,
worked
there's
for
something
30
physiological
years.
in the brain that means like at a certain point it is harder to like accept new things. Like
Well, I
you don't
think,
wanna
yeah, I
listen
think
to
if you
people
worked for
say,
30 years
know
and
what
you
you
finally
like.
feel like
Wait,
you
wait.
have stability, sorry, when you work for so many years and you finally feel like you have stability, and then the young people are like, actually, we're going to change everything you know about everything, or at least that's like how they perceive it. Like gender's not real and the economy's failing, and like we have to be respectful to the Browns. Like that's kind of unsettling if you like
It's all such
finally have
jarring
some-
new information, isn't it? It's just so scary, these
just-
threatening ideas.
of acceptance. It keeps me
But
up
at
at
the
night.
same time, it is true. It's like they're steadfast in their ways. It's shaking them up so late at
Yeah.
night. But let's let them rest. Let's let them not agree. Like it's fine. They can vote, and then they'll all be gone, and then we'll vote, and we'll see what happens. The world will be a scary place. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen. When
I
all
think
the-
maybe we should just move them all to their own area,
Island.
and they can
Yeah.
choose.
They
the
can
policies for
self-govern.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Leave
think
the
though,
young
I
people-
think like with any other protected group.
It's called a hospital.
There you go. There you go. There's a great example of a bad.
That's an amazing joke.
Truly- That's so funny. But
That's
you know
a
what's
good
funny?
joke.
If we're gonna talk about hospitals, you would think the old people would be on the side of the young people because we need some better fucking healthcare. Like you think we would all rally.
but
Those
but
are the
they're all,
people who
like-
care most about the healthcare. Those are the people who vote most about their healthcare. Is
don't know.
the older
Yeah,
generation.
but why did then the older generation vote for such bad healthcare policies
Yeah.
for so long? I think it's because they're like, I paid for it myself, and so should you.
Yeah,
Like
pull
it's like
yourself up by your
I did it,
bootstraps,
so you
bitches.
can do it. Like I struggled my whole life, and now you have to struggle too. Like there's
Yeah.
So-
no.
People who vote against healthcare for everybody in the United States do so for a lot of different reasons. A lot of them having nothing to do with healthcare itself.
Yeah,
So
well,
so like we can get into that, but it's wrapped up inside this can of other worms that a lot of people over the age of 55, are more racist than they care
Flaccid
about their
worms.
healthcare. Right,
flaccid
exactly.
That's what I was
little
saying.
worms.
No, not
Yeah.
flaccid. I actually put some research in the document that shows that there's a lot of sex
Viagra-filled worms.
Viagra-filled worms, right? Exactly.
That's the
They're
name
not
of my
flaccid.
first band. Viagra-filled worms.
Screaming.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
people.
should we take an ad break? What do we think?
When he was young, he was treated with respect. Nobody pushed him around. Nobody made him give them his money. Nobody told him whom he could see or where he could live. Nobody got away with hitting him or calling him names. Nobody left him alone. So why is it happening now? By one of his own children. Elder abuse is your business. If you're being abused or know someone who is, help is available. Call Adult Protective Services.
Welcome back. Wow, what an ad. That made me think so
Mind
differently
blown.
about old people.
See?
I think now we're gonna take a look at maybe a successful joke about old people, age, hating age. This first joke is from Michael Harrison.
Right, 'cause sometimes I say something inappropriate, and it's always the younger people that look at me like, oh no, Nana's here. Which is hilarious, because old people nowadays, they were raised in the 60s and the 70s. Yeah, have you heard of the 60s and the 70s? That's when fun was invented. Yeah, free love, rebellion. They used to lick toads to get high, all right? What did we ever do to compete with that? You talk to teenagers now, how's your day? It's like, awesome, I got high score on Pokemon. It's like, great, well, Gladys is sucking an amphibian. You can go party with her then, all right? Because it's ageist, you know? I just don't get it. Like, we desexualize old people, we act like they don't get it, which couldn't be further from the truth, right? I recently read an article that said apparently in retirement homes, old people are having tons of sex with each other. Yeah, fact. And thank God. Thank God. Because I'll admit it, I'm petrified of getting older. I'm scared one day I'm going to be put in a home where I'm playing cards all day with another guy when I could be slamming doors down the hallway. You know what I mean? Yeah, sir, that's right. Stick a pail of Viagra next to a shuffleboard in the rec room. I'm ready for my second spring break. I'm gonna break some hearts and some hips.
I thought that was cool. I liked
Very
it.
funny. Yeah,
I-
because it took the side of the old people.
It took the
Yeah.
side of the old people.
He gave
And
them
actually,
credit
it's factually
due.
incorrect. Go ahead, Sarah. I'm sorry.
I said I gave them credit where credit's due. That's so horny.
Yeah. I think the thing with old people having sex is like, it's not that I don't think we should like be like rude about it. I think the reason that people don't like to think about old people having sex is they don't like to think about their parents having sex. I think that's
Yeah,
where it
or
stems
grandparents.
from, right?
It
Like
is-
you don't want to be thinking about that. So
It is one of the highest groups with STIs, though, guys. Because
Oh.
now you need protection. Now.
I'm
They
already
don't
close
use
to
protection.
death.
That's the
Wow.
problem. is
Right,
they
that's
don't
why
use
they
protection.
keep spreading
Yeah.
it. Yeah, now you
Read that
know.
article that I sent you. That's what's best about that joke is that it's actually
I thought
based.
I thought
He
that
wrote
was
something
cute.
based on fact, ripped from the
Yeah.
headlines.
I thought we have more STDs than old people.
In
From
pure
false
numbers,
coloring.
because there are more of you because
There are
they're
more of
dying.
us, yeah, but
Yeah,
proportionally,
but ratio wise,
yeah, it's pretty
Per
bad.
capita.
Although right now we're like really spiking in STIs, guys. So be safe.
because
I'm
everybody got their
before when
boosters.
you
I'm
Yeah.
abstinent, and I'm not even kidding.
You're a femcel.
I'm a femcel.
This
Sarah,
is
what do you
so
think the
funny.
greatest like old people sex scene in a movie is? Like, could you even think of one? I can't even think of any.
No, not in a movie. There is an old porn star that I like, though. I need to remind myself of her name, but she's unreal.
How old is she?
Old.
Like old? How old?
Maybe like 80.
What? And she's still going at it?
Like nowadays, she's probably 80, but when she was in her prime, maybe she was like 70.
Is she still doing porn? She's 80?
Let me find her. I know who she
Because
is.
if she's still actively doing porn at 80, that's kind of badass.
That is badass. Also, she should retire. God,
I
80.
mean,
That's
she
such a
can live her
long
life.
career.
At this point, she's just doing it for fun, you know? Like it's
I hope she makes
just a pastime.
doing what she
Yeah,
loves.
she's doing
Who
what
is
she
sad,
loves.
though? If you
I
type in
personally
porn
liked
porn
something-
stars into Pornhub, like they really don't look that mature. Like one of them here looks easily like 32 years old.
Oh no, it's like in ballet, like they're old, or in sports, they're old.
Nina
They're like
Hartley.
40.
Come on, Nina Hartley. Have we heard of Nina Hartley before?
Mm-mm.
She's an icon, guys. Your dad just nodded.
I don't want to think about that.
I'm not familiar with
I
I've
didn't
not
I
heard.
didn't see that. Okay, well, I feel like we've talked a lot about ageism. We know what like the stereotypes are and maybe like what some of the taboos are. So I feel like we could like probably write a successful joke about it. I almost feel like it's going to be harder for us to write an unoffensive one than most jokes.
Oh,
but
should
I don't
Evan
know.
write it?
Should Evan write it?
Pitch
Yeah.
Pitch it to us.
I feel like you should have to write a version of your own joke, Evan, and we will tell
All right.
it
So you want me to write a joke?
that a young
you
person
to
can
tell?
tell.
That's good. That's clever.
Yeah, I want you to write a
Welcome.
joke that a young person can tell without sounding ageist.
So you're gonna be in the writer's room talking, and I'm gonna go write a joke, and I'm gonna come back with a joke to pitch to you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That seems all right. I didn't know that's what I was signing up for, but okay.
Uh-oh. You can
We
do
like to
it.
keep you on your toes.
Yeah,
We'll
we
write
gotta
something
spice it
too,
up. We'll
probably.
write something up.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's very
Who do you,
old.
Sarah?
He's
Who do you
older
think
than Trev.
the most fuckable over 70-year-old is in the public eye?
Let me think about this.
Can we have a producer list of 70 over 70? Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks is
I
your
would
pick?
Bang the shite out of Mel.
Mel Brooks? Do you know anything about Mel Brooks?
Is he a rapist?
Racist.
He's the
So
worst.
racist.
He's like the worst person you could have said.
So racist. I see where you stand. I'm removing
Also,
myself.
wait, have you seen what Mel Brooks looks like? Look at what he looks like.
Well, that's what I'm into. I like that Jewish face.
You would fuck Mel Brooks tomorrow, is what you're
Well,
saying.
now that I know he's a raging racist or whatever the fuck. Ugh.
No, but like that aside, you looking like this.
Yes,
This is
looking
being
like
fucked.
that. I would.
I mean, hey, okay.
But he's not my number one. I just saw his like memoir the other day and I thought I wanted to give it a go. read
He's
it.
96 years old. You would kill him.
I would. You're right.
His heart would stop in the motion.
Okay, wait. So let's search up like plus 70s celebs.
Over 70 years old celebrities overs, or no, not female. Well,
Oh, okay. Well, there are actually some big dogs who I'm interested in. This is a fucking hot list.
wait, okay, we're doing women
Mirror?
first. Helen Mirren definitely would.
Yeah.
Um,
Susan Sarandon. Yes, please. Nom nom nom.
Susan- Jane Fonda would be fun.
James Caan. Is that how you pronounce it? James Caan, whatever. Hot. Diane Keaton.
Diana Ross. It doesn't say
Judi
how old they
Dench?
are.
Judi Dench.
Faye
Anyone?
Dunaway. Okay, Meryl Streep for sure. Avi.
Oh, I didn't realize that you were flicking through. I'm sorry. I was looking at my own list.
Oh.
I see
It's
now.
okay.
Yeah, I'd fuck the fuck out of Kathy Bates.
Diane Keaton is hot, and that's on that.
Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn would threaten me. Barbara, obviously.
Yeah,
And obviously.
obviously,
Gotta say that.
Sally.
Julie
I
Andrews,
don't think I would
just-
fuck.
I
I don't think I
couldn't
would. I
either.
don't think I could do that.
I feel
don't
like
think-
I was kind of poisoning her water.
Yeah, Lily Tomlin is fun, but I don't think. I think I would want to be her friend more than anything. Who is this? I'm sorry to this woman, Suzanne Summers.
A spy master extraordinaire. Well, now I'm interested.
Oh, she was a Playboy. She was a Play Bunny. What's it called?
Playboy Bunny.
Playboy
Dolly Parton
Bunny.
I'd actually have a really hard time with.
I don't think I could. I don't think I barely could. Dolly Parton.
I'd love to watch.
Yes, Dolly Parton. I would watch on screen,
I'd
but
watch it.
could not handle in real life. No. All right, now we got to do men. All right. Well, we got Morgan Freeman, Robert De Niro in a heartbeat.
Obviously.
Although he has aged quickly in the last 5 years, I'm like worried about him.
That's what happened.
He got old, but I still would. Harrison Ford for sure,
Yeah,
sure would. I don't think I would touch Arnold Schwarzenegger with a 20-foot pole, but that's for
I
feel
probably wouldn't either.
like,
Actually, yes, I would.
Michael Caine, I kind of would.
I
I
would.
kind of would with Michael Caine. Yeah. Elayna, you're awfully silent over there.
Yeah. Do you want all of them or none of them?
I'm over here being a hater. I'm like, I'm not really into crusty old white dudes.
Okay, but
Disrespectfully.
what about like
So
what about
hard to
Ben
do.
Ben Kingsley? Or wait, hold on. We gotta look at
Okay, you're looking them up.
here we go. Why the fuck is Vladimir Putin the first one?
Yeah, Morgan.
Would I
Freeman's-
fuck?
I
Would
wouldn't
I?
fuck
Would I
him.
fuck if
He's
it
a
was
great
kind
actor.
of? I wouldn't.
No.
Yes, John Goodman. Yes, John Goodman.
Mr.
Yes.
T, I'm screwed
Yeah,
up.
100%. No.
Hassel-
Mandy
yeah.
Patinkin, shout out Mandy Patinkin. I would respectfully, I could not because
He's a Sag.
I would if I didn't know his wife, but I love his wife and I think that they're cute together. So respectfully, no, but obviously he's hot.
I'm seeing a bunch of hot guys on here.
It's just not really
Who
doing it
are?
for me,
I don't know
y'all.
who any of these men are. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of them are like football coaches, and that's not really doing it for me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done
Oh,
for him.
Why
Who
are
are
so many
these?
of them Sagittarius men?
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, I don't know. He
I
feels like a
would.
wisp of a human. Like I feel like my vagina would like him,
But
you know what I
Linda
mean?
was such a beautiful
Wait,
woman. and just to
what?
share that space with her.
I'm so confused. I am confused.
Why are you confused?
Well, none of these men are doing it. Guys, I think I'm just going to be a cougar. I think I'm going to contribute to the problem of ageism. Like, I think I'm going to be the one that dates the 28-year-old guys when I'm 50 something.
Okay,
Is
can
that-
Evan come back? What's going on here? Oh, he's back.
Oh, hey, we
All
were just thinking
right.
about you.
So what's the deal here? Did you write us a joke?
I did.
Oh, it's a haiku.
It's not a haiku. It's a joke.
It took you 20 minutes to write these 3 lines.
It's not easy.
I
How
don't-
long?
I
How
would-
long? How long do you take to?
Ours are usually a little more involved. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Well,
this
I
is-
tried several different other things, and I wound up with this.
You tried your best. Okay,
Don't
let's
be a
let's pitch
dick.
it. Don't be a dick on our new t-shirts coming to you soon.
Old people are like Congress. As a group, they're easy to hate. When it comes to your own, it's more complicated.
Okay.
Who's your own Congress? I don't get it.
What I
It
have
means
to say
like your
about
own
setting it up-
congressman.
Yeah.
the part I don't understand
Uh-huh.
is, who's your own Congress?
The person you vote
You're
for.
only your
As in,
Your
like
parents.
the one, like
Your parents. Your own old.
Yeah, or
people.
your old people.
yeah.
I mean,
your
okay,
own
maybe
young
I
people.
did get it. I just
Don't think it's funny. It's
yeah.
fire.
so it's like
Fair
they're
enough.
easy to hate as a group, but it's
Until
more,
the ones you know are more complicated.
you don't want them to die. It's personal, even if they say really heinous shit.
And
Yeah.
I
writing
don't know.
writing it for Jamie, I meant me in particular, but
Well, I
so
feel
this
like,
is me admitting that you guys writing jokes every week is harder than it was.
and you know what? That's the greatest thing that could have come out of this episode. So
The more you
feel
the
so
more
safe.
you know.
we all changed, we all learned, except Sarah. And
Sarah already knows everything. That's why.
she came in already wise.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, friends, another episode.
My
in the
friends,
bag.
my friends.
If you liked this episode of Cancel Culture, why? And
Subscribe to our Patreon.
For the
and if-
titty stickers
yeah, for the titty stickers.
coming soon.
If you want tit stickers, subscribe to Cancel Culture. Let us know.
Tit
What
sticker?
other kinds of products would you like to see from us? We could do
Bookends.
ball gags. We could do bookends. All the bees. So until next time, this has been Cancel Culture.
Cancel
Culture.
Podcast.